teachers. Hey, Karen. Hey, put your hand, put your hand up. What you got to say, my dear?
Hi, speaking about teachers, I love this new girl, Sally, that was on. I just watched her video today. She is adorable.
I know. I'm so excited. Hey, Karen.
Oh, I love that. She was really, really sweet.
Yeah. So I
So
hope she comes back.
I hope so. So what's that going to be once a week?
Well, she wanted to check it out and see how she felt about it, and I would love to put her on the schedule every Tuesday after Wayne and Ozzy. It would be perfect. So, kind of um, fill out that day a little bit more. So, but we'll see.
Yeah, I just wanted to say I thought she was great.
That's yeah. I think she knows Dove. I think she's um, because he said something about her living in on the Hudson, so something of that nature. I don't know. I'm making that up, maybe. Probably. All right. So, oh, and there's Dana. Dana Banana is here. I gotta get up. If I put up a list of the participants, a lot of time it gets in the way of being able to read. So that's
We'll let you know we're here.
okay. I know I need to keep an eye anyways, just in case, something happens, somebody put their hand up or whatever. So it's all the same. All right, you guys, I am going to um, put up our reading for tonight. And we have finally, as I mentioned, we completed last week the Forgiveness to Destroy. And this week we are starting on healing. So this is exciting to me. Can you guys see the reading on the board? I can never really tell. So let me see.
Yes, I can see it.
Okay.
It looks good.
All right. So we're still in the Song of Prayer. We also got to think about that at some point, not too soon, I'm sure, we're going to be done reading the Song of Prayer. And so that will have taken us through the entire manual for teachers and the clarification of terms and the supplements. So the question is going to come up, what shall we do next? So if anyone has a cherished thought of, oh gosh, I would love to go through this or whatever, just let me know, because there's so much. Really, honestly, there's so many things. And of course we have people reading Ken's books, and we have people reading Joel Goldsmith. um, we could go. We have done this whole series before, starting through the manual for teachers, and so we could, do that again. But it's up to y'all. So, all right. So, anyway, who would like to read paragraph one or the introduction to healing from the Song of Prayer?
I'll take it.
Thank you, Rafi.
Prayer has both aids and witness, which make the steep ascent more gentle and more sure. Probably a good idea if I put my glasses on. I'm just guessing.
That always makes
Yeah.
it easier for me.
Easing the pain of fear and offering the comfort of the promises of hope. Forgiveness, witness, and an aid to prayer, a giver of assurance of success in ultimate attainment of the goal, is healing. Its importance should not be too strongly emphasized, for healing is a sign or symbol of forgiveness's strength, and only an effective shadow of a change of mind about the goal of prayer. It seems that the approach to prayer is is key. Because if you're praying for somebody, God suggests that they're less than you, and we are all equal. But if your but if your prayer is forgiveness and forgiveness is unconditional love, that's a whole other story.
Thank you, Rafi. Yeah, that's a very interesting thing to look at because yeah, if we're equal, uh, if we're all the same, then what is there? What could have happened that that could have made forgiveness in the world to be necessary? I'm just finding this a really, for some reason, not really easy to understand paragraph. So that's what I'm wondering if someone would like to. Oh, Karen, yay!
You
Let's.
know, it's so interesting. I don't ever remember reading this paragraph before, and I would love to read it again.
I don't ever remember reading this before either. I mean, this is concepts that are like different. So yes, please.
Okay, healing introduction. Prayer has both aids and witnesses, which make the steep ascent more gentle and more sure, easing the pain of fear and offering the comfort and the promises of hope. Forgiveness's witness and an aid to prayer, a giver of assurance of success and ultimate attainment of the goal, is healing. I'm going to read that sentence. That's a long sentence. I'm going to read that sentence again. Forgiveness's witness and an aid to prayer, a giver of assurance of success and ultimate attainment of the goal, is healing. Its importance should not be too strongly emphasized, for healing is a sign or symbol of forgiveness's strength and only an effect or shadow of a change of mind about the goal of prayer. So, what really shines for me is that in sentence 2 and sentence 3, sentence 2, where he says, forgiveness is like the goal of forgiveness is healing. He's basically saying forgiveness is it's an aid to prayer, a giver of assurance of success, and ultimate attainment of the goal is healing. Its importance should not be too strongly emphasized, for healing is a sign or symbol of forgiveness's strength and only an effect or shadow of a change of mind about the goal of prayer. So the healing is like forgiveness is healing the mind. So healing the mind of what real true prayer is. Like prayer, it's changing the mind of the goal of prayer. The goal of prayer is healing. It's not asking for anything. It's healing the mind. And I really love that because it really reminds me of Manual 22, because in Manual 22, how are healing and atonement related? He actually says that forgiveness is healing twice. So I always love to correlate forgiveness and healing. In paragraph 1, he says to forgive is to heal. The teacher of God has taken accepting the atonement for himself as his only function. So that is healing the mind is the only function of forgiveness. And then in paragraph 3, he says that forgiveness is healing needs to be understood if the teacher of God is to make progress. The idea that a body can be sick is a central concept in the ego thought system. So it's again talking about basically pointing to the mind, that only the mind can be sick, and healing and forgiveness is healing the mind. And in this paragraph, it seems to point to healing the mind of the what prayer is, to change the mind of about the goal of prayer. So yeah, that's all. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Karen. Yeah, that helped actually a lot. This is just an oddly worded paragraph, all the way around. And what I notice is, if something's really oddly worded, Jesus is trying to catch my attention, because and a lot of times people will say, well, I just will, if I don't get it, I'm just going to go on to the next paragraph, which is also a good thing to do as well. But for me, I want to know, I want to get this. And something I was, and I see Rafi has his hand up. I'll give it to you in just a second. I just wanted to uh, a technique kind of that I use, that the Holy Spirit had to have told me to do this, because I would never have imagined it before, but I do it. And it works, is to, if I don't understand the sentence, I do it backwards. So that sentence two, it would say, uh, healing is the ultimate attainment of the goal, of which I have been assured will be successful. And that assurance of success in the goal has come to me through prayer, having been facilitated or aided through the witness of forgiveness, the knowing that forgiveness is the only just um, uh, outcome. So reading it backwards kind of helps me to see that healing healing is the goal, uh, and the goal is achieved through forgiveness. And that's all. It's just letting go of the belief that what is seemed to be happening was real. Mickey, you had your hand up before, and I know Rafi is probably, I don't know if you want to defer to her, because she did have her hand up earlier,
Sure.
and
I just got it. I'm
good.
like, I'm like, what is forgiveness as witness? It finally I got it. Healing. It waited till the very end to stick in the main object of the sentence. Healing is forgiveness as witness. Healing is an aid to prayer. Healing is the giver of assurance of success in the ultimate attainment of the goal. It just, it put it it put the subject at the very end, and I'm like, wow, what a wacko sentence structure that is. Because you're right, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, what is forgiveness as witness? It says forgiveness as witness and an aid to prayer, and it never said what. And finally we get to the end, and it is healing. It's not that all those things are healing, it's that healing. So the witness to forgiveness is that you heal.
Yes.
When you heal, when you practice forgiveness, the witness to that forgiveness is the fact that you heal. The aid to prayer is that when you practice prayer, your ultimate goal, the attainment of the goal, is ultimately healing. And whew, yeah, that was really twisting my brain around. And that's what I initially raised my hand, because I was like, wait a minute, sentence two is not making sense. We got to go back over that one. And by you going backwards, that helped me figure it out. So thank you.
Thank you, Mickey. Yeah, hey, that's why we're one mind. Rafi, thank you for your patience. Please go ahead.
Yeah, what the both of you just said is great clarification on what this is all about. And it brought up in me the two kinds of prayer. If the prayer is make us realize our oneness with thee, or forgive me, Father, or them, for I know not what I do, or they know not what I do. And that's coming from a place of healing. But if you're saying, if I'm saying, if I do a prayer like, they're not well, please make them better, that's saying that they're inadequate, that they're limited, and that's an ego concept, and it has nothing to do with, there is no healing in that. It's accusing them, in fact, of being inadequate. And so that's what came out of what I heard the two of you say, and how I finally was able to interpret this paragraph.
Wow. Thank you, Robbie. I love us. Oh my gosh. Just amazing, amazing, amazing. Yes. I, I can't say anything more. Does anybody else have anything to share? No wonder it's written so backwards, because if you don't go back and look at it, you'll just brush by all that. So,
Duff's got his hand up.
oh, I don't see it. Okay, go ahead, Deb.
Duff, what happened to your electronic hand?
That's okay. You probably can't find it. It's hard for me to find half the time. Go ahead, Deb. Unmute yourself.
I just wanted to say that this section called section 3 of the forgiveness pamphlet is, I think, one of the most powerful sections. I love the next couple of paragraphs coming up. It's called the cause of sickness. I haven't visited this in a long time, but I used to come here a lot. So I think we're going to enjoy this evening. Maybe the first paragraph was a little, mature, but I think it gets very powerful from here on. Yeah.
I think that was pretty powerful in itself. So I'm excited. And, also we have the Kurt Morrow, his whole series on the Song of Prayer recorded, and he explains this stuff so beautifully. But I don't remember ever hearing this. Probably didn't, because I don't always listen when I play things, and Prudence plays them at night on Sundays. But I'm sleeping during that time. So all right, well, let's move on to section 1, the cause of sickness. The cause of sickness. Who would like to read paragraph 1 of section 1?
I'll read unless Dana wants to volunteer. Dana reads beautifully. Or she can take the next one if she doesn't feel like doing this one.
I'll read.
I
Yay.
saw the mic on mute. Go ahead, Dana.
I
Thank
volunteered you.
you. You're so pushy, Mickey. Go ahead, Donna.
All right. The cause of sickness. Do not mistake effect for cause, nor think that sickness is apart and separate from what its cause must be. It is a sign, a shadow of an evil thought that seems to have reality and to be just according to the usage of the world. It is external proof of inner sins and witness to unforgiving thoughts that injure and would hurt the Son of God. Healing the body is impossible, and this is shown by the brief nature of the cure. The body yet must die, and so its healing but delays its turning back to dust, where it was born and will return. So for me, one of the big things with this course was do not mistake effect for cause. Because like everybody else, I always thought it was the other way around. And in my practice, I'm still just getting that this is an outward picture of an inward condition. So while I feel the body has definitely been wanting attention, I've noticed since I've become a student of this course that if it needs attention, I'll give it the attention, but I'm just not interested in ruminating about stuff or trying to look all over the place for a bunch of causes or a bunch of cures or remedies, like I used to, because I know that it's not the solution anymore. Not that I won't use them, but I guess I would use them differently now, sort of more of a know the truth but respect the illusion kind of thing, if that makes any sense. And as far as sickness being the external proof of inner sins and witnesses to unforgiving thoughts that injure and would hurt the Son of God, I've been personally just spending whatever time that I apply this course, which is a good part of the day every day, really just looking at thoughts. So I think for now, that's just my take on it.
Wow, thank you, Dana. Beautiful. Yes, yes, yes. I love this. And of course, this reminds me again of today's lesson, 93, where, he says, you think you're the home of evil, darkness, and sin. And, you think if you looked inside and saw what was there, you would, want to kill yourself because, it's so evil. Um, and this is what we think of ourselves. Sickness uh, is a sign of that. It says this is what I really am thinking about myself, and really what I'm thinking about, God and my brother and the world, and just that it's going to take something magical in order for it to be healed. And I know myself because I have a lot of like respiratory issues. So and I recognize it has nothing to do with me or what I am, and I don't even think about it. I don't think, oh geez, I'm I have inner ideas of sins, and that's the reason that my body is acting like this. No, my body's acting like this because this is how. Bodies act and interact in the world. It has nothing to do with what I am. It's just a vehicle, not has nothing to do with me at all. So, why would I even spend any time trying to do anything about it, other than, make it as comfortable as I can. And if there's something I can do, of course I will. Why not? You don't want to be miserable. That would be that would be silly too, Well, you'd only want to be miserable if you thought you were guilty and you deserved to be punished. And I'm not guilty of anything. You know, these quote unquote sins that he's talking about here, they're ideas I have about myself that I myself deserve to suffer in some way, and I don't believe that. And so I don't suffer. I all of this sickness I go through, I'm not suffering a bit. I'm just as happy as a clam the whole time. But which seems, to the world might seem silly, but that has nothing to do with me at all. So uh the only cause is the belief that I am that I am this thing. And if I don't believe that I am this thing, it doesn't matter what happens to it. It doesn't matter at all what happens to it, because that's all part of the story of the world and has nothing to do with me. There's it's going to do what it's going to do, and it will turn back to dust, and recycle, recycle, recycle. Karen, please take the mic.
Thanks, Lynn. I agree. You don't have to suffer. The body may experience pain, but a healed mind can be at peace regardless of what the body is going through. I also love what Dana shared. Thank you, Dana. And what he's talking about, do not mistake effects for cause, nor think that sickness is apart and separate from what its cause must be.
So this really reminds me of lesson 17. I see no neutral things, where he says it is always the thoughts that comes first, despite the temptation to believe that it's the other way around. I see no neutral thoughts is the idea of identifying cause and effect as it really operates in the world, that the cause is in the mind, despite the temptation to believe it's the other way around. And the external proof and witnesses to unforgiving thoughts are the unforgiving thoughts. They're the thoughts that we give to the Holy Spirit. We don't protect them with projection by thinking if I just project it out onto someone else, it's not really me, it's them, or it's my body. It's my body that's the cause. It's really healing the mind. It's always he says healing the body is impossible. And this is shown by the brief nature of the cure, quote unquote. The body yet must die, and so it's healing but delays its turning back to dust where it was born and will return. So form is the biggest illusion. There's nothing so blinding, and believing that this body is the cause and is real is my biggest classroom. And it's something that I've been learning for years. And it's been such a beautiful classroom. It's so helpful in recognizing that the body is not the cause and that my body is a classroom. And it's teaching me that I am not this body continually teaching me I am not this body. And I'm very grateful for that experience today. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. I love that, and how beautiful. Yeah, it is just an amazing thing. When you look at it, you have to know that you're just so lucky. As crazy as that sounds, because you know the truth about what it is. And so there's no need to suffer. I mean, really, honestly, it's just so lucky. Mickey, please go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to go out on a limb here. I just had a thought and I'm going to try and figure out how to say it. So, sentence 3, I think, is really important. Sickness is the external proof of inner, quote, sins and witnesses to unforgiving thoughts that injure and would hurt the Son of God. It doesn't say you. And I'm starting to key into whenever it says the Son of God instead of you or your brother, it's the whole mind, it's the dreaming mind. And so none of the sickness is due to unforgiven thoughts in my head or your head or somebody else's head. It is the unforgiven thoughts in the one mind. And why does one body get sick and not the other? It's that fish tank analogy that I use, where we're floating in a fish tank full of little pieces of seaweed, and one piece of seaweed is called cancer, and another piece of seaweed is called breathing problems, and another piece of seaweed is called knee injury, and it's whatever we wind up bumping into because of what. Yes, can we attract certain things? Absolutely. With the unforgiven thoughts of the one mind that we're identifying with. If I have a certain proclivity to identify with abandonment, say, it can possibly attract me to a certain brand of seaweed. but we keep taking personal possession of these things. And that's the big problem, is that we think that we made this happen. The cause absolutely is in the mind, but it's in the one mind. I don't know. I could be totally off base with this,
No,
but
I think you're absolutely correct on that.
it came into me really hard while we were reading this paragraph of, no, these unforgiven thoughts hurt the Son of God, not Mickey, not Lynn, not Karen, not Dana, not Dove, not Rico. It's not about us. Because we don't exist.
Exactly. We're figures in a dream. We're
Yeah,
pictures on a screen. Yeah.
we're just characters. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's what I got out of that sentence. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mickey. Thank you, thank you. I love that. Dana, please go ahead.
Yeah, Mickey, thank you for that. I have never thought of that before. And as you were saying it, I felt like a light bulb went off in my head. You know, when I'm feeling triggered by something and I start to do some self-inquiry or whatever, and I find that I guess I have this tendency to blame myself, or as I see myself as Dana, as this horrible person with all of these awful thoughts. And it never occurred to me that maybe they weren't specifically mine that I was looking at projected out there, that maybe that's just what we're all doing. We're just all doing our part. And maybe they're not just our own individualized thoughts that we're looking at, but maybe as a whole. It's just, I don't know. I have a feeling this is going to unravel in my mind over the next several days, probably in a good way. And I just wanted to thank you for that.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah, me too, Dana. And because it is just, it's like that little thing that seemed to be not clicking right. It's just that little thing that doesn't, and this is it. And we're just, you know, what is happening here, we can't identify with any of it. We can't personalize any of it. It is totally impersonal. It has nothing to do with us and what we are and uh yeah, wow. Karen, please go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Mickey too. That's a really good point that she brought up. And, it does remind me in the course where it says the healing of God's Son is all the world is for. So that's what the world is for. It's for the healing of God's Son, which is the one mind. And it's not personal. We start out with that idea that it is personal because that's just what we know. We think that it's an individual mind and it's individual problems, but there are no private thoughts. And we start to recognize that and understand that one mind is all minds. And that's why when we forgive, it's like it's for all. It's an all-inclusive thought system because it's one mind. And if we leave one spot of darkness, that one spot of guilt will hide the face of Christ because it's not including all. So it's all with that too. It's like it goes with the forgiveness idea that it's all or nothing. You can't just forgive one brother and not another brother. So that is the Son of God. It is all minds. Minds are joined, bodies are not. So all those concepts, they're concepts, but they're relative to what we're talking about here because there's no individual mind. It's just a belief that it's an individual mind. It's exactly the Son of God, which is one mind.
that seems to be fragmented into thousands and billions. So it's blowing my mind just thinking about it. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Karen. Absolutely. Wow. I love this so much, and just love this group and our just openness to this. Does anybody have anything else that they'd like to share about this paragraph or healing? We're getting there. The cause of sickness. We have time then. Let's read the next paragraph. Who would like to read paragraph 2?
I'll read.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Okay, the body's cause is unforgiveness of the Son of God. Okay, I got to stop there. The, so the whole reason for the body being here is the unforgiveness of the one mind, the Son of God. And that's just what we were talking about. It has not left its source, and in its pain and aging, and the mark of death upon it, this is clearly shown. Fearful and frail, it seems to be to those who think their life is tied to its command and linked to its unstable, tiny breath. Death stares at them as every moment goes irrevocably past their grasping hands, which cannot hold them back. And they feel fear as bodies change and sicken, for they sense the heavy scent of death upon their hearts. Whew, boy, that's chilling. The body's cause is unforgiveness of the Son of God. So, do we think that that is us not forgiving the Son of God, or the Son of God not forgiving the separation? I'm wondering.
That's that's a good question right there.
Yeah.
The body's cause is unforgiveness of the Son of God. Uh, so forgiveness of the Son of God then overcomes the body. So
Mhm.
uh, if the body's cause is unforgiveness,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't believe that. And that's true because isn't that what happened with Jesus? Jesus, who was a man and saw the face of Christ in everyone he saw, and so he remembered God, became identified with the Christ. That's what happened, and he was a man no more. He wasn't identified with the body at all. When he was able to see the Christ in everything, he was no longer identified with the body, and the body itself became nothing but an illusion. And as it was nothing but an illusion, which it is for all of us, we just don't see it that way, but he knew it as an illusion. And that's how he was able to operate in the body without being affected by anything that happened to it, because he he wasn't identified with it. And once you become disidentified from the body, then it's no longer uh, it's no longer
Relevant.
yeah, it's not what you are. You
Right.
recognize that's not what you are, but it's like the puppet. That you you can use it for things, to walk around, talk to people, whatever. But it's not what you are. So it's that once we unclutch ourselves from the body, then we're free.
I think this is talking about the unforgiveness of the Son of God, the the Son of God's unforgiveness toward itself for believing in separation.
Yes.
Yes, Deb agrees. I'll take it. Yeah, the Son of God cannot forgive itself for having believed in separation. It has not left its source. So all of this stuff that it thinks, oops, hang on, I gotta plug in before I lose you. There we go. Uh yeah, it thinks it's tied to all of this cycle of birth and death and frailty and sickness because it of the guilt.
Exactly. Yeah. So when you give up the guilt, and that just means that you see everything as being innocent. When you give up the guilt, you see the Son of God as sinless,
Mhm.
and you see all your brothers as sinless and innocent, then you no longer, there's no guilt. There's no guilt. It's impossible. Rafi, please go ahead.
Yeah, first, Lynn, what you said was practically quoting Lester Levinson word for word. I mean, really, it's so precise and so concise. That was beautiful. In the Rib Gita, it says over and over again, the I am the body is just another mental concept. It's just a projection, mental projection. It's just an image. And and like Lester was saying, if you see the body and the mind as separate from you, as a separate entity from the reality of what you are, you're seeing it correctly. And the and whoever said before about how we can use the body as an instrument to all kinds of things. We can use it. We use it as an instrument to communicate with each other, and we know as long as we know we're not that body, you can pretty much do with it anything you want. In the release technique, they repeat over and over again how the body is just like a puppet that you can, once you become control of it and know that it's not you, you can use it to do whatever you want. And it's also, for me, a great signaling device. It's a great example. If something is going on in the body, I say, okay, there's the trigger. Now, whatever's going on, thank you for doing your job. Now go inside the mind and find out what it is that needs to be corrected that the body is seeing. So the body, even though it doesn't exist, even though it's just a projected image, like everything else is here serving. And that is the paradox that makes it so. It's not here, but it's not here. It's not real. It's not me, but it's doing its job. And so everything that everybody said here connects with all of that, and that's really great. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafi. That is pretty amazing, isn't it? And as long as it, and what does the Course in Miracles tell us? That as long as the body is it will be perfectly healthy as long as it's doing what it's here just to do, what it's here to serve. And people look at it and say, well, that means I won't get cancer. No, the cancer is perfect health. I, you know, if the body's working and doing what it's here to do, it's in perfect health, and you can't imagine that it's not. You can tell yourself a story, but if it's doing its job, it's doing its job, whatever that may be. And we may be confused about what the job is, but believe me, there's no mistakes in salvation for sure. Rafi, did you want to say something more?
Yeah, one other thing is that the divine infinite radiant presence, our omnipresence, that is the reality, radiates through everything. So it's radiating through this image of the body, which means it radiates through every cell, every molecule, every atom. That radiant present is always there. So if I forget who it was, it says the body is a natural healing machine. If something goes wrong with it, don't pay any attention to it. It'll take care of itself. It knows how to do that. It knows how to do that because the radiant omnipresence, that is, you could call it God, call it whatever you want, omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence, consciousness, awareness. That radiant omnipresence radiates through everything. So it's going to radiate through the body image. And if you let it do its job, then you don't have to deal with it all. You can say, okay, I know I'm not the body, but it's like Lynn said, you use it for whatever you need. It's like Jesus. Jesus needed the body to prove a point, and he did it brilliantly. Other masters have done it that way. St. Francis of Assisi, after he was supposedly dead, he still was able to heal people and bring them back from the dead, enliven their bodies. Because this, our infinite presence that radiates to everything, is the animating force. And it couldn't be serving us any better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's, if you think anything else, stop and look again. All right. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to share about this? Let's see. Let's go on to paragraph 3 then.
I'll chime in on paragraph 3. Good evening, family.
Thank you. Hey, Rico.
The first sentence already knocked my socks off, so I'll start there. The body can be healed as an effect of true forgiveness. Only that can give remembrance of immortality, which is the gift of holiness and love. I got to read that again. My vibration just went up. The body can be healed as an effect of true forgiveness. Only that can give remembrance of immortality, which is the gift of holiness and love. Forgiveness must be given by a mind which understands that it must overlook all shadows on the holy face of Christ, among which sickness should be seen as one. Nothing but that, the sign of judgment made by brother upon brother and the Son of God upon himself. For he has damned his body as his prison and forgot that it is he who gave this role to it. Yeah, I got to chew on this for a second, but man. So I'm looking at personally all the stuff I brought upon myself in chasing illusions. And it wasn't even under auspices of chasing truth. It was just chasing illusion because it looked good, felt good, and I thought it was good. And as a result, I've had some issues with my body. But I'm a love guy. I'm not trying to impress you. And a forgiveness guy. You guys really impressed upon me early on that forgiveness was key. And for me, it has been. Forgiveness must be given by a mind which understands that it must overlook all shadows on the holy face of Christ, among which sickness should be seen as one. And I've had the sickness. I didn't look upon the holy face of Christ. I was beating my head against the wall, but I see now I was looking at an illusion. Nothing but that, the sign of judgments made by brother upon brother, which I've spent half my life doing, and the Son of God upon himself. For he has damned his body, as I have, as his prison, and forgot that it is he who gave this role to it, which I did. I was an elite athlete, and I thought I was like above the law, and I wasn't. And liver cancer sure will remind you of exactly who and what you are, and it had. Thank God you guys were in my life and helped me walk through it. That's it for me.
Oh, God bless you, Rico. Absolutely. Absolutely. And yeah, it's not because you were bad or did anything wrong or anything, but it's just because we believe we're this thing. and this thing is gonna run us through the ringer. Absolutely, because it's not what we are. But boy, I love that he says the sign of nothing but that, the sign of judgment made by brother upon brother and the Son of God upon himself. It's all the judgments that we have on each other and ourselves. That's what causes all the problems. Is not because we've done anything wrong. You know, we're damning ourselves. We're cursing ourselves. Cursing ourselves. Mickey, please go ahead.
So the word that jumped out at me in this is that word overlook. Forgiveness must be given by a mind which understands that it must overlook all shadows on the holy face of Christ. That forgiveness is not a doing, it's not a giving, it's not, I'm going to give forgiveness to anyone or anything or even myself. It is looking at it and saying, that doesn't matter. I'm overlooking that because it is not real. And how long have we been talking about this stuff? I know this and I know what forgiveness is and isn't, but every time I see something like that in the course, it hits me. It just opens up another eyelid, kind of, that it's an overlooking. It's not something that we even have to do. It's what we don't do, and what we don't do is judge. So I love that sentence. I think that is an incredibly beautiful sentence. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Mickey. Yeah, it is. I mean, this is all of this is incredibly beautiful. I'm just so glad we're doing this. Karen, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Mickey. I love that too. And yeah, I love this whole paragraph. And I love it's just reminding us that, you know, nothing happens. And that true forgiveness, that the body can be healed as an effect of true forgiveness. And true forgiveness sees that what you thought your brother did has not occurred. And that's why we overlook it, because there's nothing there. This last sentence kind of sums it up and says, for he has damned his body as his prison and forgot that it is he who gave this role to it. I am doing this to myself. It is my unforgiveness on my own self. It has nothing to do with my brother, has nothing to do with anything outside of me. This is the unforgiveness that he's talking about. This true forgiveness recognizes that nothing can affect the mind of God. Nothing can affect the peace of God. And that's why only that can give remembrance of immortality, which is the gift of holiness and love. Forgiveness must be given by a mind which understands that it must overlook all shadows on the holy face of Christ, among which sickness should be seen as one, because it is only one. And it's just that reminder that there's nothing to forgive because nothing happens. And that's a hard pill to swallow sometimes, but that's what the course is teaching us. It's actually teaching us that nothing happened, that we made this whole thing up. They are shadows. A shadow is nothing. You turn the light on and the shadow is gone. So we overlook all shadows that we put there, and so it's constantly reminding that I am the dreamer of the dream. I am the decision-making mind. I am responsible for what I see. And my brother did nothing wrong because my brother's not even there. It's my mind projecting all of it. It's mind-blowing. Thanks.
Blowing my mind by my mind. I love that. I love that. I love that. So thank you so much, Karen. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to share? We only have a couple minutes left. Uh, once again, I'm just so grateful for you guys joining us here and uh, taking the plunge into, looking, what does this beautiful book have to say to me, and how is it that I can use it? Because man, I think the time has come when we need to reevaluate our prison and get the heck out. Uh, all right. Well, I love you guys, and so grateful for y'all. See you tomorrow morning when we're going to be.
Right, correct number. Christine
Yep.
Schmidlski, or 5 others.
All right. Hello, Christine. All right, you guys, I love you all. See you all in the morning.
Hi, Gov. Thanks, Lynn. Thanks,
Good night,
everybody.
everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Afi, Elizabeth, Dove, Karen. Love you.
Love you too, Rico.